Breaker 19.
What's up? I think it's time to cut some oats.
Okay. And I'll make my slow approach up to there.
Okay, so half hour or so, or what do you think?
Maybe more than that. Maybe not.
I'll be here.
And then, if it breaks, then you got tools, right?
Yeah, I got plenty of tools.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, give me an hour or so.
That'll be fine.
Alright. See ya.
Yep. Alright, so we're gonna cut some oats. Combine is on its way. It'll be here in about an hour. It's something a little different than what we're used to, so it should make a pretty good video. So the oats are ready to cut, I believe. I showed you a little sneak peek in the last video, but we had a pretty heavy dew this morning. It's about 1 o'clock now, maybe 1:30, but I think they're ready to go. It's nice and sunny, it's hot, not much of a breeze. I'd like to see a little more breeze, but I showed in the last video, they're pretty weedy up here by the yard, and I'll probably have to leave these because I don't think the combine's going to be able to get through this. So we might just leave this strip and maybe a couple other spots and chop those with the batwing mower. Like I said, I'm not too worried about getting all the oats. I'm more worried about establishing a nice crop of hay. So the oats are a nurse crop. We got alfalfa and orchard grass and some other grasses underneath. So the oats are just kind of there to help the alfalfa and stuff get started. So more worried about the hay. But anyways, I can hear the combine. It's just right down the road. Let's go check it out. Alright, so that's John. He is a neighbor farmer. He farms about a couple miles north of here. He's got this old Gleaner combine, and he allowed me to use it because I didn't really want to get our big combine out for this 4 acres of oats. So it's going to take a little bit to do all this, but it seems like it's doing a decent job. Once we get stopped here, I'll have John explain what this thing is a little bit. I've never run a combine this old before, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So he hopped in it. He was going to make sure we had everything set right and the right height and all that. So he's going to make the first pass, first round, whatever. Then I'll take over. So now that we started cutting the oats, you can really see that hay that's underneath. All that green is alfalfa and orchard grass, and it's going to be a pretty nice hay crop once we get these oats off. We got a few ragweeds coming. This farm has always been bad for ragweeds. I always had to spray the edges, especially along this fence row. So we didn't put any herbicides down when we planted these oats just because we couldn't really, because it would kill the hay. So we just kind of had to deal with the weeds that we got, and they're really not too bad. That spot of foxtail up along the house yard there, the ground stayed a little wetter. It's kind of heavy clay right there. The oats had a hard time coming up, so they didn't really get thick enough to choke out the weeds. So like I said, I might have to leave that foxtail patch, and yeah, we'll just get the good oats. I'm not too concerned about getting all of them, so We'll get her done. Well, John ran it out of gas. Gas tank's over there.
Yeah.
So I gotta go get a gas can. They seem pretty clean.
Yeah, they ain't too bad.
Okay. Turn that switch on, and then this runs as your automatic. It doesn't automatic, but it goes up and down.
Okay.
This is kind of like an override. It'll do the same. That switch has to be on. To go a little faster, it's variable speed. You can push that forward. Slower, you slow it down. Over and back is first gear. Over and up is second.
Okay.
Okay? Clutch, don't use the brakes, they lock up.
Okay.
Hey, where's the Autosteer? I left it at home. Alright, I don't know if you can hear me or not, it's kind of loud in here, but we are rolling. This thing is doing great. I have no idea how fast we're going. It's pretty cool running this old equipment. Doing a really nice job on the oats. They're pretty clean. These oats are really good down here in the bottom ground. I don't know. I don't even know what oats are supposed to yield. 50, 60 bushels per the acre. I bet they're probably all of that. And I forgot to weigh my wagon, so I really don't know how much I'm going to end up with. But they seem like they're pretty good. We're going to keep rolling and knock this out. It's pretty good straw. We'll probably bale it. Maybe tomorrow or Sunday.
I think we're gonna need another wagon.
One good thing about COVID, I had my mask handy. I already lost my voice.
or pull it back. And that opens up a shiv for the drive belt and makes it go faster or slower. So that's pretty cool. I bet that was kind of a neat invention back in the day. I'm not sure how old this thing is, probably from the 60s, but it was probably ahead of its time. We are done with the oats. I'm gonna go dump these in the wagon and then we'll kind of walk around and show you this combine a little bit closer. John ran off, he had to go help a hired man do something, so I was gonna have him kind of explain what it is, but we'll get to it in a second. Clutch is jumpy. Well, we got done cutting the oats, and I gotta say, running this machine was a lot better than I thought it was. I don't know if you could hear me or not when I was actually running, but I'm gonna hop in the cab and kind of show you a little bit more about it. It's really a little bit more advanced than I thought it was gonna be. I didn't even look up how to actually run one of these beforehand. I just had John show me real quick, but I kind of thought it was just going to be completely gear drive. You put it in first gear and throttled up and go, but it actually has this variable speed lever. So there's a belt that runs the drive wheels, and that belt is on a variable speed shiv. So you hold this lever forward to go faster, backwards to go slower, and it opens and closes that shiv. Change your speed. So with this variable speed, you get into a tough patch or a green patch, pull it back, you'll slow down. You get into some easier going oats, push it forward and you go faster. It's really kind of neat. Throttles here, I would assume that is choke, which we didn't need. Gear shifters down here, clutch, brakes, steering wheel obviously. I can't remember what this one does. It doesn't feel like it's hooked to anything, so I don't know, but the throttle is actually broken. You can throttle it down from the cab, but you can't throttle it up from the cab. So you had to go push the lever forward and then go turn the throttle on the engine itself to idle it up. But not a big deal. It also has no air conditioning. It does have a fan, but the fan only worked for a couple rounds and then it quit. So it was pretty warm in here. I don't know what these are. Some cab lights and stuff. Little tiny window in the grain tank, so you can't really see. I would just hop out if I need to see how full I was. You can see right in there, but we got them cut. It did a pretty decent job. The John's thinking he doesn't have the right sieve in here because these sieves kept getting plugged up with straw. So if there's anybody out here who knows something about these older combines, maybe you can tell us, is there a different sieve that you need to use for wheat and oats and rye versus corn and soybeans and whatnot? Also, John is looking for a corn head for this thing. So if anybody knows of a corn head laying around somewhere, write it in the comments. I guess he was telling me that the corn heads and grain heads for these combines were different for each series. So this one is a C2. So I guess maybe an E series or an F series won't fit. It has to be for a C series. So if anybody knows of a corn head, let me know in the comments. We have these fans running in this wagon because oats tested 15%, but I really wanted to get them out because it's supposed to be even hotter tomorrow, and then there's a good chance of rain on Monday. So that alfalfa's getting bigger, and I wanted to get them out before it got too tall to where I couldn't get all the oats. So we got these screw-in fans in the wagon. Hopefully we can drop it down a few points, because if they don't get used for a while, we don't want them to crust over and spoil. So we'll run those for a few days, dry them down. And I think the last thing we'll do to end this video is we'll see if the goats like them. This is our precise goat feed measuring device. It's custom. The oats are a little dirty, they got some straw in them, but it's good enough.
They seem to approve.
Yeah, I think they approve. They really like feeding time. So there's plenty of oats there. We could probably feed the goats for 5 years on that amount of oats. I don't think they'll keep that long. But so John's actually from Ohio. He said his grandpa used to have a fleet of 3 of these. He had 2 C2s and then another one was an E or an F or something. But he had 3 Gleaner combines and he custom harvested about 3,000 acres with them. And he was saying the one combine had a Wheatland transmission, so it would go like 30 miles per hour down the road, which seems really sketchy to me in one of these. But I guess he would go flying down the road to the next field with that combine and get everything opened up while the other 2 caught up, and then they could just go and knock it out as fast as they could. But I cannot imagine cutting 3,000 acres even with 3 of them. So 1,000 acres apiece, that would be, I don't know how they did it. That's a lot of acres with a combine this small. But it really amazes me how far we've come in technology. The safety alone is amazing. As you can see, there's like not a safety guard on anything here. It's just open shivs, open belts, and you just got to know to not stick your fingers in where they don't belong. Our combine is not even that new. It's a 2010, and it's got Autosteer and air conditioning and climate control and air seat. It's comfortable, it's spacious in the cab, and this thing is basically a glass box with a hard wooden seat and a little fan that works sometimes. But you can open the windows, but then all the dust comes in. So we really have it easy as farmers now. Everything is just so comfortable and simple and easy and safe, and I gotta hand it to these old guys who did it with one of these back in the day. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's something a little different. I'm not used to running equipment like this. It was cool to be able to do it, but I'm glad we have something a little bit nicer and newer. Yeah, so if you did like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.